By the end of today's video, you'll have the tools necessary to keep the size of your board game collection under control. I'm Jackson Moorfield for Jackson Moorfield's Game Room. Board gamers refer to it as culling, the act of keeping your collection smaller because unlike some other hobbies like video gaming, an expansive board game collection will take up a lot of space in your house. If you don't want your house to become mostly board games where you have to live underneath a makeshift pile of them, then this video is for you. Now you see I have a lot of board games here and I have, much to my dismay, I have had to sell off a few of them. Either I just didn't have space, I didn't have interest in the game, or in some cases I maybe bought two somehow. You don't really need 2 copies of King Domino.
3 copies for 18 bucks.
Why the hell would you want 3 copies of the same movie?
Because 1 copy is $9.98, but this way you save like 20 bucks.
Here's my strategy for culling your board game collection while invoking minimal discomfort on yourself. First of all, if a game is new, unopened, and still in the shrink, I sell it on eBay. If a game is opened, even if it's unplayed, I will sell it locally. That divide is an important one. The reason why, if anything is opened, it is much harder to explain and communicate the condition of the game online. Not to mention, sometimes games comes with things you'll never use. For example, you'll see rules in languages that you don't know. And it's very difficult often to figure out if those pieces are all still in the box. I do not like selling used items to someone that cannot see what they're buying. So if you're gonna sell on eBay, so let's start there, which is relatively easy to do. Obviously you need an eBay account. If you have already bought things on eBay, even better because you will go into the selling business with a user rating. Hopefully with 100% positive feedback. Now, here's how you put together an eBay seller posting. First, you have to take pictures of the game. Do a good job with these pictures. Make sure you're taking a picture of just the game and you're not getting a reflection of the clear plastic back on your scantily clad body or anything like that. Watch out for what's in the background. Don't take the pictures in your S&M room. Chances are you're selling something that someone has sold before. So I use the eBay search. I turn on the option, this is available both the website and the app, to include sold items as part of your search. I will now scroll through the results and actually find a sold item that matches what I'm about to sell. Once you're on that page, you can actually go and hit sell one like this if you scroll down far enough. After you've loaded the photos, make sure to hit the condition for the game, which in this case should be excellent, new, shrink, mint, all that stuff, and go to create a description. The AI descriptions on eBay are okay. This is a good point to note if there is anything special about your game, but also I will put some keywords in there, such as sometimes NIS, or if there's different ways the game is actually phrased. For example, Warhammer 40,000 versus Warhammer 40K, I will put that in the description somehow so that search picks up on it. If you got to the point where you're selling a lot of things, maybe have some set up shelves in your basement, number them, and then say where that game is actually located in your shelves and put that in your description, put like shelf 1A, so that you can refer back to it and someone buys it, you know where to go find it. You don't want to lose something when you sell something on eBay. Once you get down to set for pricing, now depending on what you're looking at, if you're really selling a board game that is not that rare, you probably just want to set a buy it now price. Set it at a price that you would be willing to part with it for. If you want to set up an auction, you can do that. Recommend that you start your auctions as 7-day auctions beginning on Sunday nights. That means they will end on Sunday night, and that's the time people are most likely to put in bids or be looking on eBay to go buy something. Finally, before I list a game, I like to actually have set aside the box and any packing material I will have it packed with. You don't necessarily need to go through the act of putting the game in bubble wrap, but what you want to do is know what package it is and then have enough bubble wrap so that when you weigh the package, it matches what it will weigh. If you're a little bit heavier, then it's going to weigh that's okay. You just don't want to get to the post office and find that you have a package that doesn't match what you put into the eBay system. Someone's going to buy your game eventually, provided you put a reasonable price in there. I recommend using the eBay shipping label and buying the barcode label from eBay. I don't know if you have a smartphone, I don't know any reason why you wouldn't do this. Easiest process ever. Pack your game, wrap it with bubble wrap, make sure that the game does not shake inside the package, make sure that your package is not bending to try and fit the game that you're putting it in. You do not want your game to experience any damage in transit. Use plenty of tape when you're taping your box up. One recommendation for when you're taping the top of the box is you actually push the box tight and then you want the box closed and then offset a little bit so that when you do tape, it will through the tension of the box, it will seal itself better once the tape is under tension. I don't know if my hands are going to explain that properly, but that's something I learned just by working near the company with a shipping department for a while. Then you bring the box to the post office, show your barcode label. The post office employees should know what to do with that. They'll scan your barcode, get a receipt if you want, and your game is in the mail. Now, for selling your used games.
So, we have a deal.
We have a deal.
I buy games on Facebook Marketplace. I don't usually sell games on Facebook Marketplace. Personally, the way I like to sell games locally, I live in an area where I have enough board game stores that some of them will put together auctions. And you can put together lots for used board game sales at those auctions. If you don't have one of those auctions available, Facebook Marketplace is probably the way to go to sell used games. There are other methods out there for getting rid of your used board games, obviously. I like to put them in the board game auctions. There's less of a chance that someone will, know where I live, and you don't have to share any information online with people on, say, swapping forums and things like that. Those are my recommended methods. At least this is what I use. Hopefully it's helpful for you. And until next time, this is Jackson Warfield's Game Room. Let's see if I have any more that I need to fill over here. Oh no! Oh my!